I'm Caroline Hendershot, and this is What's Your Why, an in-depth interview series where you get to know the player underneath the helmet at the New York Jets. I sat down with linebacker Jamien Sherwood, and we spoke about the unwavering support he receives from his family, finding his voice at the University of Auburn, and stepping up when the Jets needed him most. Make sure you're subscribed to the Jets YouTube channel for more exclusive content. All right, Jamien, you grew up in Jensen Beach, Florida. How would you say your household was growing up with your siblings?
The amount of love that I have for them, it's just always been my motivation. My mom, she's always made everything happen for us, big or small. Doesn't matter what it is, she always made it happen. So my job, in my eyes, has just always been to go repay her. Do what I can just so I can give her the world that she gave me. I never asked for much, but you know, she made it seem like it was everything. So again, I just want to return that favor.
Do you feel like there was a story or like a moment from growing up that kind of encapsulates who your mom is and how much she helped you to get to this point?
I'd say like, you know, she would be home when we would get home from school, and then she would work at night, and then she would get off early in the morning to take us to school. So I mean, you could just see like her hard work and dedication. Obviously we had somebody to watch us at night. My oldest brother became old enough to watch us too, but you just see how hard she just tried just to make everything possible for us. Again, she would go to work at night and still come home tired and still be able to take us to school.
Do you have almost a new appreciation for that the older you've gotten and handling all the responsibilities that you have?
I wouldn't say it's new, you know, it's just always been the same. Obviously, it just gets bigger and bigger. Every time I see her on the sidelines or anytime I just get the chance to see her, you know, from the time that I left home to go to college, you know, I don't see her every day like I used to. So every chance I get to see her, you know, I just always get happier than last time, again, because, you know, tomorrow's never promised. So it's just like the fact that I still get to spend time with her and cherish her. Like when she comes up here on Saturdays before the game, we watch college football together, and you know, that's probably like my favorite day, any day of the year.
Now, you said you were 5 when you started playing football. Was it always just football, or were there other sports that really drew your interest too?
So yes, I always played football in the fall. I tried the like winter and spring sports, like I played soccer, played basketball a little bit. I stopped that because I wasn't good. You know, the other kids started earlier, and I just like, no, it just wasn't for me. I played baseball a couple years. I got hit with the ball a few times, gave it up. And then like they made a football league in the spring. It was an 8-on-8 league. It was still tackle. So then from there, like I just started playing football year round. And obviously, like once you get to high school, you still have football in the spring and the fall. So it's just been football.
What about the defensive side of the ball drew you there? Because I feel like a lot of people originally gravitate towards offense, playmakers.
Yeah. When I was younger, I used to had the opportunity to run the ball. I used to score touchdowns too.
Okay.
But one of my best friends when we were younger, you know, he was super fast. We actually won the Super Bowl, the Pop Warner Super Bowl when we were in 8th grade. My best friend was amazing. If you blink, he was gone. But you know, like, he was the star of the show on offense. So, you know, I figure if I go on defense, I can be the star over there.
You had some offers your sophomore year in high school, but a lot of them came at the end of your junior year. Did you ever feel like throughout the recruiting process, you were a little overlooked?
Everything happens for a reason. I'd say like my first offer was FAU, and I'd say that was a good starting spot for me, again, because I was growing into my shell, so it was better not to have something a big offer, a big school right away. So the fact that it was, FAU still a Division I program, but you know, just on the lower end, I'd say. But it just helped me, it was just more motivation. My dream school was FSU, so the fact that I got that one offer, it just helped me go even harder to get to that offer. And then again, they started piling up after my junior season. Again, it was just a testament to how hard I worked. Another shout out to my mom. She would wake me up at 5, 6 in the morning, so I would go work out with one of my trainers. His name's Roscoe. I appreciate him to this day, because we would do it before school, after practice, the day before games, before my games in high school, just so one day I would get this opportunity.
Before you got that first offer, was there any doubt that would creep into your mind? Because like you said, you didn't know exactly what you were training for before the offer started to fall into place. Was there any doubt that maybe things wouldn't work out in the exact way that you hoped?
Well, obviously, I never could have imagined this, but the area that I'm from, it is a smaller area. We got Justin Simmons, he plays for the Atlanta Falcons now, Khalil Mack, Chargers. There was a guy named Albert Wilson who's played for a few teams. So me growing up, those were the three dudes that like got a chance to play in the NFL. You got areas like Miami and like Fort Lauderdale who are heavily recruited. So my area actually gets overlooked. The scouts come from Orlando, skip over all those towns and talent that are close to me and go straight to South Florida. The fact that I even got the opportunity that people started stopping at my school to come see me, that just made me feel good about myself. And again, it was just more motivation. Once I got one, I wanted two, and then so, and then they just continued.
So how did you land on Auburn being the right fit for you?
Like I said, Florida State was my dream school. I took a visit. It wasn't the best. So then I wanted to go to Miami. And the fun fact about Miami is they wanted to change me to linebacker as well, but I was like 190. And I just didn't see the vision that they saw at the time. Loved the program, loved all the coaches there, but again, I just didn't see what they saw. So I tried Florida, but Florida was just too close to my home. Once I started touring out-of-state schools, Auburn was just a special place. If you ever get the chance to go there, it smells different, it feels different, everything about it is different.
So when you got to Auburn, unlike a lot of players who redshirt their freshman year, you played right away. And from going from your high school experience to then kind of being thrown into the fire at the collegiate level, what was that transition like for you?
Seeing how big people were kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Playing in high school, I'm just as big as the linemen on my team. They're obviously like over 6 foot, but like they weren't too big. Now I'm going to college, guys are 6'7". I remember the first time I met Derek Brown. He plays for the Panthers right now, but I was just like astounded. Like I didn't know people got that big. So that was just the main thing. And then once Coach Steele, he threw me in the fire. So he says, it just all sort of clicked. He helped me grow out of my shell and becoming a better communicator because I was super quiet when I got there. I thank him to this day. That's how I'm able to be vocal out there right now in the games, at practice. He helped me get to a level of where I didn't think I could go. Communicating as loud as possible, getting everybody cleats in the ground, getting everybody set. So that was my main thing when I got to college, just becoming more of a vocal person.
Do you remember your first collegiate interception against Alabama State?
Yes, it was my only one.
What was that moment like for you?
It was cool, because like again, everybody wants to score touchdowns, everybody wants to make plays, everybody wants to hear the crowd scream their names. So the fact that it was only my second game and I got the opportunity to get an interception, I was amazed. My mom was in the crowd, she was super happy for me, and that's all that matters to me at the end of the day, just making her happy, making her smile, and she was smiling harder than I was, so that was just the best feeling about it.
Now you get to the Jets, and like Miami, they want you to be a linebacker. What was your reaction to that?
Well, so really, my draft, my pro day wasn't the best. It wasn't what I had hoped for. I was pretty devastated from it just because I'm training for my 40, got to do this, got to hit these numbers, didn't hit those numbers. So really I didn't think I was going to get a chance to get drafted. I didn't think I was going to hear my name called, but I was still hoping for the best. So when teams did start talking to me about a linebacker, I'm just like, okay, I'll do whatever. I just want to play. So once that happened, I didn't shy away from it. Again, then I got here. Coach Rudy, he's just been the best help that I could ask for. I tore my Achilles my first year. He never turned his back on me. He saw something in me. He just always stood by my side. I always had a question for him. He was never hesitant to answer. He'd give me the answer before I asked sometimes, and now I can just dedicate some of my success to him just because of how helpful he's been.
You touched on it, but week 7, your rookie season, you go down against New England. At what point did you know that it was your Achilles, and how hard was that? Because it was your rookie season, you're making a position change, you only played 7 games, and now you have to deal with injury.
So during the play, the thing about linebacker is you really have to understand how to play it and when you have to play it, like different parts of the field. So we're in the red zone. Rudy always tell me like it's a take your shot mentality. So like if you wait, you're not gonna get there. They're gonna score. That's exactly what I did. I waited, they scored, and I was undersized at the time. So the fact that he overpowered me is how I ruptured my Achilles. If you ask anybody who's had the injury, it feels like someone kicked you. So I'm looking around. I'm pretty sure it was like Brandon Eccles and Quentin behind me. And I asked one of them, like, why'd you kick me? And they were like, what are you talking about? So I start limping and stuff. I line up for the extra point. Then after I walk off the field, I get in the tent. I'm trying to like stand up on my toes. I can't. And then that's when I found out. It was just hard just because like that had been my first real injury ever in my life. So I just didn't know where I was gonna go from there. Again, being a late round draft pick, you're already presumed to be a backup as it is. And then, again, I'm trying to figure out my way into this defense. How can I be a part of it?
I feel like when you're faced with adversity, that's when you really know who you are. When you were kind of faced with the position that, okay, this is what my cards are, and I tore my Achilles and I have to start the rehab process. What did you learn about yourself?
I'm super dedicated because that process was terrible. Waking up every morning to come to do rehab is terrible. But that process was just difficult because you have to really be strong in your mind just to come and do the same thing over and over. It was about an 8-month process. And again, I just appreciate all the people in that training room for not giving up on me, just from helping me every day. Same thing in the strength in the training room and the weight room. They were here every day with me. They could have been anywhere else doing whatever. They were here every morning with me, helping me get my nutrition right, helping me get my body right and everything, just so I could be ready for the next season.
In 2023, you came to camp weighing 22 pounds heavier than you had the previous season. How pivotal was that physical transformation for your level of play?
It was huge for me just because to play that linebacker position, you have to have a good foundation in your body. The main thing, my legs weren't as strong as they needed to be. So back to the weight room, every coach in there, every guy in there that's been here with me, like they did nothing but help me. Nicolini put together a weight room plan for me. Like I was explaining to you earlier, I would work out in the morning, I would go home in the afternoon, I would get a second workout, and I did that probably like 3 days a week. The nutritionist at the time, she gave me a great meal plan. I probably had to eat 8 times a day, which was like more work than actual on the field, it felt like. But again, credit to them just for, they know what they're talking about. They did their studies on everything, and they took the time to actually help me become who I wanted to be. And I feel like they did a great job.
So you put all of this work in off the field, obviously. Then on the field, you have teammates like CJ Mosley and Quincy Williams kind of paving this way for you. What have you learned from them, and how big has their leadership been just for your personal growth?
Well, CJ, you know, he's done it at a high level for a long time now. So the fact that I got the opportunity to learn behind him has just, obviously, it's been the best part of it all, because I can just see somebody who I see being in the Hall of Fame one day do it. Somebody who's had every accomplishment and accolade checked off their list do it. So it's just like, for me, this whole time I've been sitting back watching, I've been getting the cheat codes to it all. Quincy, when he first got here, I actually didn't play the game that he played in his first one here, the Patriots. I'm on the sideline with my friend Hamza at the time, and all we're just saying the whole time is, wow. Because when he got here, a lot of people thought he was undersized well, but the way he hits people, the way he runs to the ball, how fast he is upon recognition, like, he's honestly amazing, a linebacker. So having those two people in front of me, taking CJ's mindset, leadership skills, and the way he anticipates the game, then taking Quincy's physical play and putting those together, again, like, I just had nothing but cheat codes this whole time.
So obviously not the scenario you would want, but in week 2, when CJ Mosley goes down, the Jets have to call on you and really lean on you. You went from starting 3 games last season to starting every single one this year, except for one. What was that like when you realized how much more and heavily you were going to be leaned on?
Well, this whole season has just been like the saying, staying ready so you don't have to get ready. Like I said, just being behind them this whole time, I've been nothing but prepared for this moment. Watching CJ every day at practice, watching CJ in the meeting room, listening to CJ at practice in the meeting rooms, like I've just been prepared for this moment from the time I got here. I feel like I could have done it in my second and third year as well. Maybe not at this type of level that I'm playing at now, but again, just watching how they do it, the standard that they created, again, I would have been ready for it.
Now, when you took over for CJ, that meant you were taking over the Mike linebacker position. So as the Mike linebacker, you're kind of like the quarterback of the defense, really vocal. Was that hard for you?
Kevin Steele, my defense coordinator at Auburn, when he was big on me being a vocal communicator, that carried over to coming here. And I would say that's what kept me in the building for a while when I first got here. They saw the way that I communicate amongst the people, use hand signals, looking left and right, making sure everybody got the call. And that's one thing I pride myself in. I never want to get back to the huddle or the sideline and somebody says they didn't hear it, they didn't get it, because that falls back on me. I want everybody on the field with me to be able to play as fast as possible. And that starts with the call at the end of the day. Everybody getting their cleats set, everybody getting their hands right, their technique ready, anticipating whatever they have to do. And again, that comes back to me, so I take real pride in that.
I know that there is a little backstory to you practicing calls in your garage. Would you share that with me?
So I'm in the garage, I'm practicing, and I'm just screaming out the calls. Obviously, like pretending like I'm in the game, looking left and right, sideline to sideline, echoing the stuff that I'm gonna have to do on Sundays. So again, just preparing myself for the moment, and again, making sure that I'm able to get everybody else on the same page.
Do you go through every single call?
For the most part, the ones that are going to be big ones. I'd say like we probably have about 15 calls that we're actually going to run for the majority of the game. But yeah, just practicing those, and then just envisioning someone motioning and stuff like that, envisioning the backs, envisioning the backs footworks, and just calling out all my keys and stuff. Because again, we only have so much time here to go through what we can, so it's about what you do on your own as well.
You ever get a noise complaint from a neighbor yet?
No, they understand.
Good, I'm glad. All right, so this year with the Jets, you have 125 total tackles, which leads the team, but also is tied for 5th in the NFL. You have 2 sacks and 9 tackles for loss. Those are all career highs for you, and you still have more games to play. So how have you been playing at this elite level, but how have you been sustaining it all season long?
So I've been, again, playing at this level just because of the people that I've have around me. Not only in the linebacker room, but on the whole defense and on the offense. I feel like we have 2 Hall of Famers on the offense. We have a few All-Pros on our defense. So for me, it's just playing to the standard that they've all created for themselves and for this team. When I get in the game, I don't want anybody to think there's a drop-off because I'm in the game. Obviously, C.J. Mosley is big shoes to fill with him. But again, I don't want anybody to think I'm the weakling.
Appreciate the time, Jamien. Thank you.
Thank you.